You can be a good person, kind, funny, loyal, honest, all of those beautiful qualities. But if you are broke, the world does not treat you like a man. It treats you like a boy, because manhood is measured by responsibility. And if you cannot take care of yourself, how can anyone trust you to take care of anything else? A man without money is a man without options. And a man without options is a man who gets told what to do instead of being the one who decides. You want to be the leader, but broke men do not lead. They follow. You want to protect your family, but protection requires resources and you have none. You want to make decisions about your own life, but every choice you try to make gets blocked by the same answer. I cannot afford it. That is not freedom. That is a cage. And everyone around you can see you are caged. So they treat you accordingly. They do not ask your opinion on serious matters because you have not proven you can handle serious matters. They do not come to you for help because you are the one who always needs help. They do not look at you and think strong. They think struggling. And struggling men do not command respect. They inspire pity. Pity is poison. Pity is what people feel for the weak. You do not want pity. You want respect. But respect only comes when you demonstrate strength. And in the real world, money is one of the clearest indicators of strength because it proves you can produce results. Think about every man you respect. Every single one has something in common. They handled their business. They paid their own way. They solved problems. They took care of people. That is what earns respect. Now think about the men no one respects. The ones always borrowing, always complaining, always talking about what they are going to do while years pass and nothing changes. You do not want to be that guy. But if you are broke and not doing anything about it, that is exactly who you are becoming. The world is not going to applaud you for trying. It is going to judge you by results. You either show up with strength, resources, and the ability to handle yourself, or you show up weak. And weak men get walked over, ignored, dismissed, and forgotten. This is especially true in relationships. A woman might love you when you are broke, but she will not respect you if you stay broke and do nothing about it. She will lose attraction because attraction is tied to strength. And a man who cannot even handle his own finances is not strong. He is a liability. She will start making the decisions. She will start losing faith in your ability to protect and provide. And before you cry about gold diggers, understand that wanting a man who has his life together is not shallow. It is survival instinct. No quality woman wants to build a life with a man who cannot even build his own life first. She wants a partner, not a project. And if you are broke with no plan, no hustle, no fire, you are a project, not a prize. Your children, if you ever have them, will not respect you if you cannot provide for them properly. They will grow up watching you stress, struggle, and fail to give them the life other kids have. And they will internalize that you are not strong. They will not say it to your face, but they will feel it. That will shape how they see you forever. You do not want your kids growing up ashamed of their father. But that is exactly what happens when you are broke and stay broke. You become the cautionary tale instead of the example. You become the reason they leave town and never look back instead of the foundation they build on. That is what being a broke man costs you. It costs you your legacy. So stop pretending money does not matter. Stop hiding behind philosophy and spirituality and all the other cope mechanisms people use to feel better about losing. Money matters because it is a tool that allows you to take care of everything and everyone you claim to care about. Without it, you are weak. And weak men do not get respected. They get tolerated. Tolerated until someone stronger shows up. Tolerated until people get tired of carrying you. Tolerated until you become invisible. That is your future if you stay like this. Invisible, irrelevant, ignored. Or you can decide today that you are done being broke, done being weak, done being the man nobody takes seriously. You can choose to become dangerous, learn a skill that makes money, build something that generates value, work harder than everyone around you, sacrifice comfort now for power later. Become the man who walks into a room and people feel his presence because his life is proof that he does not quit, does not make excuses, and does not accept defeat. That man gets respect. That man gets listened to. That man gets to live life on his terms. Be that man or spend the rest of your life wishing you were. You are poor. You barely can afford a piece of bread and still you are not trying. Shame on you. You sit there broke, scrolling, laughing at memes, while your life is burning to the ground in slow motion. You pretend everything is fine, but your wallet is empty, your bank account is a joke, and your future is a black screen. And somehow you still think you have the right to relax. You are not a millionaire taking a day off. You are a man who cannot even take care of himself properly. Yet, you act like you earned comfort. You walk past shops, see things you want, clothes, phones, bikes, cars, and you feel that sting of, I can't afford it. And instead of letting that pain turn you into a machine, you just swallow it and go back to wasting time. You are poor. And instead of treating poverty like an emergency, you treat it like a personality. You joke about being broke with your friends, like it is funny that you cannot help your parents, cannot invest in yourself, cannot buy what you want without checking the price 10 times. There is nothing funny about being unable to protect the people you love. There is nothing funny about watching your parents grow older while you still sit in the same room, on the same bed, with the same phone, doing nothing but dreaming. You say money isn't everything, but you only say that because you do not have it. If money truly didn't matter, you would not feel that frustration every time you have to ask someone for help. You would not feel that humiliation when you have to say no to plans because you are broke. And still, with all that pain in your chest, you are not trying. Shame on you. There are men out there who started with less than you. No support, no connections, no comfort. And they decided that being poor was not an identity. It was a temporary situation to escape from. They use their anger as fuel. You use your anger as an excuse. You sit and say, my country, my city, my family, my circumstances, as if you are the only person in history with problems. You think poverty is a prison with no door, but the truth is the door is open and you refuse to stand up. You are not cursed, you are comfortable. You are comfortable with cheap entertainment, comfortable with average clothes, comfortable with borrowed money, comfortable with promising yourself next month and then doing nothing. You are poor in money and poor in effort. You barely can afford a piece of bread and still spend hours on your phone every day instead of learning a skill, making calls, sending messages, trying to sell, trying to network, trying anything. Do you understand how insane that is? Your reality is screaming at you, wake up, you are losing, and you mute it with videos, games, and gossip. It should disgust you to be unable to pay for your own life. It should burn your insides that your parents still worry about money while you sit in another room staring at a screen. You want respect, but you don't earn results. You want people to admire you, but for what? For surviving. Everyone survives. Real respect comes when you become the person who changed the situation, not the one who cried about it. You think rich people are lucky? No, they are relentless. They worked when they were tired. They learned when they were confused. They tried, failed, tried again. While you are stuck in the planning phase of your life for the 3rd year in a row, look at your day with brutal honesty. How many hours did you invest in your future today? Not think, not dream, not talk, actually invest. How many hours did you spend building a skill, creating something, offering value, pushing your limits? If the answer is close to 0, then you know why you are poor. You are not unlucky, you are inactive. You barely can afford a piece of bread, and that should be your villain origin story, not your aesthetic. Poverty should be the reason you become dangerous, not the excuse you use to stay weak. Shame on you if you see your family struggling and still choose laziness. Shame on you if you know your situation is bad and still wait for some miracle instead of becoming the miracle. No one is coming. No one is going to knock on your door and hand you the life you want. If you stay like this, the only thing the future will give you is more of what you already have. Stress, anxiety, regret, and the constant humiliation of knowing you could have done more and didn't. Use the shame properly. Let it slap you awake. Let it drive you to war against your own laziness. You are poor today, fine. But if you are still poor in 5 years with the same habits, that is not fate. That is your choice. Stand up. Work like your life depends on it because it does. You wake up, you grab your phone, you scroll, and you wonder why your life is a joke compared to the people you watch. You look at men with money, bodies, respect, and power, and you convince yourself they got lucky. They had help. They had rich parents. They had connections. Anything to avoid the truth that would burn your ego to ashes. The truth is simple. You are not losing because the world is against you. You are losing because there is no fire inside your chest. Just smoke, excuses, and cheap dopamine. You are not tired. You are untrained. You are not unlucky. You are undisciplined. You are not depressed. You are drowning in a lifestyle that kills any warrior spirit you could have had. Look at your day honestly for once. You hit snooze 3 times. You lie in bed staring at a screen. You eat garbage. You complain about school, college, job, parents, government, inflation, everything except the one person who actually controls your life. You. There are people your age waking up before sunrise, going to the gym, working on side hustles, learning skills, pushing their limits, and you are sitting there telling yourself one day as if time cares about your dreams. You think the universe owes you success because you want it really badly, while you cannot even keep a promise to yourself for 7 days straight. You want a millionaire lifestyle with minimum wage discipline. You want respect while living like a joke. That's why you are losing. Not because you are weak genetically, but because you accepted weakness mentally. Somewhere along the line, you became comfortable being average, and that comfort is killing you slowly. One scroll, one skipped workout, one ignored opportunity at a time. You feel that emptiness at night when you are alone with your thoughts. That heavy feeling in your chest that whispers, you could be so much more than this. That voice is the last piece of fire left inside you, but instead of feeding it with action, you suffocate it with distraction. You keep looking for motivation, videos like they are fuel, but motivation is not fuel, it is a spark. The fuel is what you do after the video ends. Most people never change because they confuse feeling inspired with actually transforming. You watch clips, you nod your head, you say facts, bro, in the comments, and then you go back to the same lazy routine. You think your problem is that you haven't found the right video yet. No, your problem is you have not decided to become dangerous yet. Fire is not something you find, it is something you build. It starts the first day you decide, I am done being the weak version of myself. And you actually prove it with action. Not talk, not dreams, not vision boards. Action. Think about the man you want to be in 5 years. Stronger, richer, respected, calm, dangerous, disciplined. Now compare him to the man you are today. Unfocused, tired, scrolling, complaining, emotional, easily distracted. The distance between those two men is not luck. It is hours of work you are refusing to do. Every time you choose comfort over effort, you vote against your future self. Every time you skip the gym, you are telling your body stay weak. Every time you waste 3 hours on your phone, you are telling your brain stay. Every time you say, I'll start tomorrow, you are telling your soul you don't matter. That is why you feel empty. Not because life is meaningless, but because you know you are betraying yourself. Winners are not special humans. Winners are people who got sick of their own nonsense. They felt the same laziness, the same fear, the same doubt, but they refused to be controlled by it. They built fire. Fire is waking up when your bed is warm and your body screams sleep and you get up anyway. Fire is going to the gym when your legs hurt, your back hurts, and your mind is full of excuses, and you lift anyway. Fire is opening the laptop, studying, building, learning when everyone else is wasting time. Fire is saying no to friends who want to drag you back into mediocrity. Fire is choosing pain now so you do not live in regret later. Look at the people you admire, the entrepreneurs, the athletes, the warriors. They are not addicted to comfort. They are addicted to progress. They wake up with pressure, stress, problems, just like you. But they treat those problems like weights in the gym, something to lift, not something to run from. Meanwhile, you treat every difficulty like proof that you should quit. One bad day and you disappear. And if you can't respect yourself, no one else will. So you need a standard, a code, something non-negotiable. You need rules that your weak version cannot argue with. The gym is not optional. Learning is not optional. Work is not optional. Saving and investing is not optional. If you don't have a plan, your plan is to lose. If you don't have a schedule, your schedule is distraction. And if you don't control your day, somebody else will. Your phone will. Your cravings will. Your friends will. Your emotions will. And then you'll look up and wonder why you're still in the same place. You want a simple formula? Here it is. Every day, do one hard thing for your body, one hard thing for your money, one hard thing for your mind. That's it. Lift, earn, learn, repeat. And when you don't feel like it, that's when it counts the most. Because that's the moment you separate yourself from the masses. The masses only work when it feels good. Winners work because it must be done. And let me tell you something else that people don't want to admit. Most people aren't tired, they're undisciplined. They're not overwhelmed, they're unstructured. They're not unlucky, they're inconsistent. They want results that require a version of themselves they refuse to become. You cannot have the life of a disciplined man while living like a distracted child. It doesn't work. The universe doesn't reward delusion. So decide who you are. Decide today. Not tomorrow, not Monday, not New Year. Today. Decide that you're done being the guy who talks. Decide that you're done being the guy with potential that never shows up. Decide that you're done being the guy who knows what to do but doesn't do it. Because knowledge without execution is humiliation. It's torture. It's watching your own life pass by while you make excuses like a spectator. You don't need more motivation. You need a higher level of self-respect. You need to look in the mirror and be disgusted by the gap between what you say and what you do. And then you close that gap with action. Quiet action. Daily action. The kind of action that doesn't need applause. The kind of action that stacks like bricks until one day you look around and realize you built something real. And that day will come faster than you think if you stop lying to yourself. If you stop pretending you have time. If you stop treating your goals like hobbies. If you stop waiting for permission. Pick the day, pick the hour, pick the moment, and then move. Because the only difference between the man who wins and the man who watches is that one of them started and refused to stop. And when you refuse to stop, something strange happens. The world begins to reorganize around you. Not because the world is kind, but because reality respects force. Reality respects momentum. People respect consistency. The moment you become a man who actually does what he says, you start moving through life differently. Your posture changes. Your eyes change. Your reactions change. You stop asking for permission with your body language. You stop explaining yourself. You stop negotiating. You stop hoping. Most men live like they're waiting for a green light. They're waiting for the economy to improve, for the perfect opportunity, for the right mentor, for some magical hack. They are waiting for a sign. Let me give you the sign. The pain you feel right now is the sign. The discomfort you keep avoiding is the sign. The anger you have toward your life is the sign. It's your instinct screaming at you that you were built for more than this. Because deep down, you know the truth. You know when you're wasting your life. You know when you're choosing comfort. You know when you're lying. That's why it hurts. That's why you get irritated for no reason. That's why you can't fully relax. Your spirit is not calm because your actions are not aligned with your potential. Your soul knows you're capable, and your daily routine keeps proving you're not using it. That inner conflict is torture, and you can numb it for a while with entertainment, with scrolling, with junk food, with cheap dopamine, with distractions, with excuses, with tomorrow. But you can't numb it forever. Eventually it becomes depression. Eventually it becomes bitterness. Eventually it becomes hate for yourself. And that's what weak men call life. You want to feel alive? Do something difficult every day until difficulty becomes normal. You want to feel proud? Build a life you can respect. You want to stop feeling inferior? Become superior through work. Not through ego, not through talking, not through pretending, through receipts, through results, through tangible proof that you're not the same man you were last month. And here's what you need to understand. You don't rise to your dreams, you fall to your habits. Your habits are the real king. Your habits decide your bank account. Your habits decide your body. Your habits decide your relationships. Your habits decide your confidence. So if your habits are trash, your life will be trash. No matter how smart you are, no matter how much potential you have. Potential is a word losers use to comfort themselves. He has potential. That means he doesn't deliver. That means he's a maybe. The world doesn't reward maybe. The world rewards done. So you need to audit your day like a ruthless man. Look at your life like an enemy designed it. Look at your schedule and ask, where am I being robbed? Who is stealing my time? What is draining my energy? What is making me soft? And then cut it, remove it, delete it, replace it. Not next week, today. Your phone is not a tool. It's a weapon pointed at your focus. Your friends are not just friends if they pull you down. Your environment is not neutral if it keeps you lazy. Your bedtime is not just bedtime if it makes you wake up weak. Everything is either building you or breaking you. Everything. The food you eat, the content you watch, the people you talk to, the way you speak to yourself, the way you spend your evenings. All of it is training. You are training every day for a future you will eventually live in. And the question is, are you training for dominance or are you training for regret? Because regret is not a dramatic movie moment. It's quiet. It's waking up older and realizing nobody is coming to save you and nobody owes you anything, and you wasted your best years trying to feel comfortable. Regret is looking at your younger photos and thinking, I had so much energy and I did nothing with it. Regret is hearing someone else's success story and feeling angry, not at them, but at yourself, because you know you had the same opportunities and you chose distractions. So stop pretending. Stop the fantasy version of yourself. Stop the I could be and become I am. You do that by acting like the man you want to become before you feel like him. You don't wait for confidence and then work. You work until confidence becomes a side effect. And understand this, the world tests men. It tests them constantly. It tests your patience. It tests your discipline. It tests your ego. It tests your ability to keep going when nobody is watching. The test isn't fair. It's not supposed to be fair. It's designed to separate people who can handle pressure from people who collapse under it. Pressure is not your enemy. Pressure is the gateway. Pressure is where you find out who you are. Most men avoid pressure because they think pressure is pain. Pressure is truth. Pressure shows you your real character. Pressure shows you whether you're built for the life you keep talking about. You say you want money? Money comes with pressure. Bills, responsibility, decisions, risk, stress. You say you want status? Status comes with pressure. Eyes on you, expectations, competition, people trying to copy you, envy you, tear you down. You say you want a strong body? That comes with pressure, training, hunger, sleep discipline, pain. You can't want the reward and hate the price. That's childish. That's entitlement. So you need to become the kind of man who enjoys the price. You need to become the kind of man who looks at hard work and smiles because you know it's building your empire brick by brick while other men are begging life to be easier. And the moment you start doing that, you start changing the way people treat you. Not because you demand respect, because you radiate it. You stop chasing. You stop pleading. You stop trying to prove yourself with words. You let your silence do the talking. You let your results do the talking. That's why winners don't argue much. Winners don't need to. Winners are too busy. Winners are too focused. Winners understand that arguing is what men do when they have nothing else to show. Your energy is currency. Spend it like a king. Stop giving your attention to nonsense. Stop reacting to every little thing. Stop getting dragged into drama. Drama is a trap for mediocre people. Drama is what fills the empty life. A man with purpose has no time for petty emotions. He still feels, but he doesn't obey. He doesn't let anger control him. He uses it. He doesn't let sadness control him. He processes it and moves. He doesn't let fear control him. He walks through it. Because bravery is not the absence of fear. Bravery is action in the presence of fear. Everyone is scared. Everyone doubts. Everyone has days where they feel weak. The difference is what you do on those days. Losers treat feelings like commands. Winners treat feelings like weather. The weather doesn't decide the schedule. The schedule decides the schedule. Rain or shine, you do the work. And listen closely. You don't need to overhaul your entire life overnight. You need to become relentless about small wins. You need to stack days, stack mornings, stack hours, stack reps, stack skills, stack money, stack discipline. The biggest lie you tell yourself is that change has to be dramatic. Number. Change is boring. Change is repeating the same uncomfortable things until your identity changes. Identity is the real battlefield. The reason you keep falling back into weakness is because you still see yourself as that guy. The guy who tries, the guy who starts, the guy who gets motivated. Motivation is for beginners. Identity is for kings. You need to become the man who does not miss, the man who is predictable in his excellence, the man who is boringly consistent, the man who is immune to moods, the man who shows up even when it's ugly, even when it's inconvenient, even when nobody cares. That's the man who wins. And when you become him, your life becomes unfair, in your favor. People will call it luck. They will say you're lucky. They will say you had the right timing. They will say you had help. Let them talk. They weren't there when you were grinding in silence. They weren't there when you said no to distractions. They weren't there when you trained while everyone slept. They weren't there when you studied while everyone joked. They weren't there when you worked while everyone relaxed. They'll only show up at the finish line to explain why you don't deserve it. That's fine. Their opinions don't pay your bills. Their opinions don't build your body. Their opinions don't create your future. You want the ultimate revenge? Not screaming, not insulting, not stalking people online, not hoping they fail. The ultimate revenge is becoming undeniable, becoming so improved that your old life looks like it belonged to somebody else, becoming so financially strong that problems bounce off you, becoming so physically disciplined that your presence alone makes weak men uncomfortable, becoming so sharp mentally that manipulation and nonsense can't touch you. That's the revenge. That's the flex. That's the victory. And it's not about them. That's the twist. You think you're doing it to prove them wrong, but you're really doing it to prove yourself right. You're doing it to reclaim your dignity. You're doing it to end the inner shame. You're doing it so you can sleep at night knowing you didn't waste your gift. Because you were gifted. Even if nobody told you, even if your family didn't support you, even if your teachers doubted you, even if life hit you early, you still have one thing: choice. You have the ability to choose effort. You have the ability to choose discipline. You have the ability to choose pain now so you don't live in pain later. Most people choose pain later because they refuse pain now. They refuse the gym now, so they live with a weak body later. They refuse learning now, so they live with low income later. They refuse focus now, so they live with regret later. You can't escape pain. You can only choose your pain. So choose the pain that builds you. Choose the pain that upgrades you. Choose the pain that turns you into someone you respect. So here's what you do. You stop being complicated. You stop overthinking. You stop making it a big spiritual journey. You make it simple. You wake up earlier. You train your body. You eat like a disciplined man. You work like your bloodline depends on it. You learn a high-income skill and you practice it every day. You cut the nonsense. You cut the cheap dopamine. You track your progress. You build a routine. You protect your sleep. You protect your focus. You keep your word every single day. And when you fail, and you will fail sometimes, you don't collapse into self-pity. You don't spiral. You don't turn one bad day into a bad week. You correct, you adjust, and you continue. Because winners are not perfect. Winners are persistent. Winners don't quit because they had a setback. Winners expect setbacks. Winners are ready for them. Winners stay on the path even when the path gets lonely. And it will get lonely. Because when you level up, you lose people. When you get disciplined, people feel judged. When you stop wasting time, people feel exposed. When you stop partying, people call you boring. When you stop complaining, people call you arrogant. When you start winning, people call you lucky. That's fine. Loneliness is a small price to pay for freedom. Freedom is the real goal. Not money as a number, but money as a weapon against helplessness. Money as choices. Money as options. Money as the ability to say no, the ability to walk away, the ability to protect your family, the ability to live on your terms. That's freedom. So stop acting like you have time. Stop acting like you're guaranteed tomorrow. Stop acting like you can do it later. Later is not promised. Later is a fantasy. There is only now. There is only this moment. There is only this decision. And the decision is simple. Are you going to be the man who watches life happen, or the man who makes life happen? Because from this point on, every excuse is a confession. Every delay is a confession. Every "I don't feel like it" is a confession. It's you admitting you're not serious.